with being harder to kill, like in military wise, but also just be harder to kill from heart disease, from diabetes, all kinds of things, just be harder to kill.
Yeah. And you could argue it's harder in America than it is in the US, in the UK and Australia.
Definitely.
Like I went to Miami recently and I asked someone, where is a nice healthy cafe to go to?
Right.
And someone said, pointed over there. So brilliant. I got an omelette. I looked at the cheese. It's the same fake cheese you get in a cheeseburger.
In a world drowning in wellness noise, fitness fads and curated perfection, we're here to talk about the reality. This is a space for the experts who have the data and the humans who have the scars. We're stripping away the bullshit to look at the areas of health that don't get enough attention and the evolution of how we'll live tomorrow. I'm Krystal Perkins, and this is Unfiltered, the truth about being human. Before we begin today's podcast, a reminder that this program is for general, informational and educational purposes only and is not medical, psychological or professional health advice. Always consult a qualified health provider. Guest views are their own and do not necessarily reflect the positions of the host or the production team. Welcome to Unfiltered Podcast Episode 5, Fit or Fiction, the truth about fitness, wellness and the fitness industry, with UK's fitness expert Bradley Simmonds joining me in the studio from Dubai. Welcome, Bradley.
Thank you.
And the queen of workouts, Alexia Clark, all the way from Arizona. Welcome, Alexia. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
We're really interested in talking through a number of topics today. We're going to deep dive into fitness, wellness, supplements, nutrition, and the future. But firstly, we're living in an era of extreme performance and digital noise. The online fitness market is projected to reach over $51 billion this year alone, yet in 2026, data shows that roughly 59% of people say diet and fitness content on social media negatively impacts their body image and also, I would imagine, self-esteem related to that. We are surrounded by fads, from extreme juice cleansers to vibrating plates that promise results without effort, while nearly half of us use wearable tech to track every step. Today, I'm joined by the fitness king and fitness queen, and I'm super excited because I've been training with Bradley for the last 4 months on my own recovery, and I'm a huge fan of Alexia in learning more about building strong bodies and how women's fitness and female fitness is so important. Bradley is one of the UK's leading fitness experts, celebrity trainers, and founder of Get It Done, a fitness app helping busy people get lean, strong, and confident through simple, sustainable fitness. Your journey into fitness, Bradley, and the industry began after your career as a professional footballer.
Yes.
Which is correct, but it was cut short due to serious injury.
Mm-hmm.
Spending months recovering in treatment rooms and gyms gave you the opportunity to now, I guess, train with some amazing people, but also learn from nutrition experts, ultimately shaping your philosophy.
Definitely, that's where I first started.
Yeah.
That's where the journey started, in the physio room, in the gym.
Wow, incredible. You're known for your no-nonsense approach and mainly to consistency, a strong mindset, healthy living, and you've built a global audience by helping people achieve results.
Yes. No bull. Can I swear?
Yeah.
Basically just no bullshit. So basically no fads, no quick fixes. I said, this is how it works. You're either with me or you're not.
Yeah.
And I don't want to con anyone. I said, this actually works. My system works. The method works. And it does get results, but you have to be a little bit more patient.
Yes, I think that is the key. I'm a very impatient person.
Yes.
And I think you kind of expect results when you're training, with someone and a program. But again, it's that consistency and that perseverance, right?
Of course, 100%. And look, the industry is quite dangerous because you have online coaches giving out 6-week programs. Look, I have a 6-week program right now, but don't say you're going to transform. So this is a great way for you to start progressing.
Yes.
But you have online coaches that are saying you are going to transform. And what they do, they give their clients a very low calorie diet.
Yeah.
They give them loads of cardio to do, lots of tough, intense exercise. And yes, it does get results, but also absolutely wrecks the client's nervous system, mental well-being, gut microbiome, you name it. The list continues and continues and continues. So for me, and I'm sure Alexia's the same, it's all about making sure that the clients see results long term, not just short term.
Absolutely. And to introduce our second guest, Alexa, you're a fitness trainer, entrepreneur, jiu-jitsu competitor, unbelievable, and the woman teaching millions of people that strength is an investment that pays dividends. Welcome.
Thank you.
While the fitness industry sold women endless cardio,
Yeah.
tiny dumbbells, and the obsession with being smaller, it totally has. You've built an empire teaching women how to become harder to kill. That's awesome. I'm actually a military member, so I love that philosophy.
With being harder to kill, like in military wise, but also just be harder to kill from heart disease, from diabetes, all kinds of things. Just be harder to kill.
Yeah.
Absolutely. More capable, more resilient, all of those things that we need in life to have sustainability and longevity, as Bradley's saying. For over 15 years, you've rejected the cookie cutter workouts and fitness trends, creating a training style built around muscle performance, athleticism, mental toughness. I think that's brilliant. Not fake motivation, not hacks, not shortcuts, real work, real discipline, real results. You're also the founder of Astra Supplements, which I'm now following, and it's wonderful. I've started taking more supplements thanks to Bradley's advice as well, and just getting an understanding of, the different supplements that can help at this age and time of life. Having clean performance supplements, your company is built on the idea that your body shouldn't run on garbage, which is so important because there's so much in market with processed foods that is effectively destroying our immune system.
And you could argue it's harder in America than it is in the US. Sorry, in the UK and Australia.
Definitely.
Like I went to Miami recently and I asked someone, where is a nice healthy cafe to go to?
Right.
And someone said, pointed over there. So brilliant. I got an omelette. I looked at the cheese. It's the same fake cheese you get in a cheeseburger.
Yeah.
And I was like, this isn't cheese. Do you understand? So that's America for you.
Alexa, talk to us about that. Is it, like on that thread?
It's so hard. I mean, I do think that there are places popping up more now in the US, especially in Arizona. You can find farm-to-table restaurants, grass-fed beef. They use tallow instead of seed oils, but it's been hard for a really long time, and especially because people will think this is the same food that's been around forever, but they've just changed so many of the ingredients. Like fries from McDonald's that used to be just potatoes, salt, and tallow now have like 50 ingredients in it. So it is so hard to find clean food. Like you really do have to just cook at home or just get really creative when you go out to eat. Or I mean, honestly, you don't even really have to like get super creative if you go out to eat. You just have to be able to stick to the basics. Meat and veggies, like you just have to stick to the basics. But there are a few places popping up that are a lot cleaner and people are demanding it more now, which is amazing to see.
That's so important, isn't it? Having that nutrition awareness and interest in food to start. In Australia, we're actually teaching our kids in school to have vegetable gardens and to actually cook, right? Like from primary school up.
Because it's crazy the amount of people that don't know how to cook.
Exactly.
It's crazy, especially here in Dubai. People are so reliant on meal prepping companies for convenience, which is great, but are you getting the full nutrients? These meal prepping companies need to make profits, right? So they're not going to use the best quality salmon. They're not going to use best quality red meat, or they're not going to use the best quality vegetables, for example. Yeah. So you still have to advise your clients, try and cook from scratch, as Alexia said.
Yeah, and what to look out for in supermarkets, right?
Yeah,
big
time.
So a question to the both of you then, in terms of the fitness industry at large, what are your observations about it now versus when you were just starting out? And what are some good aspects or negative aspects you are seeing in the trends? Who wants to go first?
No, there's always positives and there's always negatives, right? I'm a very optimistic, positive person, so I always look at the positives. Okay. And I think there's a lot of people out there that look at the negatives. Okay. For me, the positives are there are likes of myself and Alexia out there, and we were the probably original influencers. And now everyone's a bloody influencer, but they're still posting up their High Rocks workouts, their half marathon time. So there is a lot of positive energy and a lot of motivation out there. It depends on the individual. Do they see that as motivation, or do they see that as, oh, I can't do that, I don't think I'll be able to do that? So sometimes it's down to the individual and how they see that content. So I think that's really important to make note of. But of course, there are a lot of content out there that can be damaging. There's a lot of people out there obviously spreading misinformation, for example, or trying to sell their programs by saying, I've got this new crazy fad diet that you should try. And that can be quite dangerous, because there are people out there, and look at Ozempic, for example, look at these weight loss jabs as an example. People want quick fixes, people want results now, without understanding the bad effects that it can have on their health. And that's the problem also. So there is also good and there's also bad. You need to be smart enough to look at the bigger picture and think long term rather than short term.
Cut through.
Yeah, definitely. I totally agree. I think that, you know, from when Bradley and I started, people have been way more open-minded recently about their health, and they've been wanting to take more control over their health. However, I do think that there is, you know, this fight that people have with themselves of wanting things instant, like Bradley was saying. And I think that a lot of times people look at getting healthy or getting fit as, that's just a hobby. I want to get it as fast as possible. I want to look great. I want to do all of that. But you have to look at taking care of yourself, whether it's with fitness, with wellness, with your nutrition, like you do when you're choosing what career you want. You can't just, if you're trying to do shortcuts to your career, you're never going to become CEO. If you want to get the promotions, you want to get to the next position in your job, like you have to put the time in, and you have to put the practice in, and you have to do all of the different tests to see what works for you and what doesn't work for you. And I think that a lot of people get discouraged when they're trying something, or they feel like they've tried everything and they're like, nothing works for me. And I think we need to shift the mindset of looking at that as a positive, as I've tested all of these different things. Those didn't work. What haven't I tested yet? Because that's really what fitness and wellness is it's about running experiments on yourself all the time to see how you can be 1% better.
It's amazing you say that, Alexia, because that's the process I'm in at the moment. I'm, trying new ways of working out and building my confidence in, the endurance and strength training that Bradley's designed. I'm learning high rocks, and, you've got to have, I think, those goals, but it smarts to actually say what works for you and kind of cut out the rubbish.
And also just building that foundation, which is strength training first, whole food nutrition, which is really key. And then once you've got those two foundations, then you can play around with high rocks. Then you can play around with your half marathons. Then you can play around with maybe having a Shake Shack on a Saturday night. Do you understand? So this is where you get those foundations right first. Get your nutrition spot on, do your education, get yourself a coach, invest in a coach who can give you the right calories and macros to follow. That's going to support your health and fuel your body correctly. Get that resistance training in. You might find it boring, but unfortunately in life, things can be boring if you need to be like you want to reach success. Nothing comes on a plate, right? So again, it all comes down to resilience. It does. And how do you build resilience? For me, can we get kids from a very young age doing sports from the absolute get-go? And I think that's the difference. When I have clients and I say to them, so talk to me about your childhood. Did you do sport? They're like, I did loads of sport. I'm like, great, this person's gonna be a good client. Because I know straight away that they've gone through some hard times. They understand what it is to roll their sleeves up and get dirty, get physical. Whereas clients who've said, no, I've never done sports before. This is my first time. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a challenge. So for me,
I see.
Can you get your kids into sports from the absolute get-go?
Well, and that also has, I think that to go along with that, if you are setting the example for your kids, it's going to be normal for them. They're watching their parents every single day work out. It's just a part of their routine. I actually, I didn't put this in any of my information at the beginning, but I just released a children's book that I wrote and illustrated that's all about getting kids exercising and inspiring them to just work on themselves and get stronger. And it's all about practice. But I think it's so important to start them young, but then also just set the example for them.
Yeah, 100%.
Congratulations. That's wonderful.
That's
and,
great.
you know,
I'll be buying that for my son.
absolutely. I was just going to say, Bradley is a new father. And it's really important. I mean, I've got twin nieces. They're coming up to turning 18 and they're really into their sport. In Australia, that's one thing we have, right?
Yes.
We're known for the culture of get outside, get active, go do something. They've played between them tennis to AFL to soccer to basketball. They've gone through the motions, but their mother did that too. So yeah, it's kind of what you're saying around you can't be what you can't see.
Yes.
And building good habits. How important then for each of you or in general in the industry, how important are qualifications or credentials versus experience in this space, right? Like we've got all these influencers and people spruiking this knowledge.
Yes.
You know, China's just come out and said, if you don't have a degree, you cannot be an influencer.
Yeah.
I will say that I think it's extremely important to have the qualifications for it, but at the same time, somebody can have the qualification and absolutely no experience. So you have to find the right person who has both. You can't just expect to go to school, get the degree, and then know how to do the work or to transform somebody's body. Like you have to have the experience not only with yourself, but what I've noticed is, I mean, before I did anything that was online, I was training people in person and just learning how different people's minds work. You have to be able to explain how to do a squat in a million different ways. You can't just be like, all right, push your hips back and keep your chest up, because some people don't get that. So you have to learn like how to explain things in different ways, different cues. It's so important to have both. I would say, it's so important to have both.
Yeah.
And if you want to be successful in this industry, also you need the experience more so than the degrees.
Yeah, sure.
I've got lots of friends who've got master's degrees and they're asking me, mate, how do I grow my online coaching? And I said, well, you spent 7 years at university, where I had 7 years on the gym floor. Yeah. At the age of 20, I was training Premier League footballers, I was training celebrities, and I got my name out there, and I've now built this successful business. Yeah. And through experience and doing my own research, I've got just the amount of knowledge as you do, mate. Yeah. Do you understand? So sometimes there's a balance, because you have to be qualified. You have to definitely know what you're doing, because you've got people's bodies in your hands, right? Yes. Yeah. But there's a fine line between going to university for 7 years, and then you're scratching your head thinking, why have I not got a successful business? Because at the end of the day, a lot of people don't care how many degrees you have. They want to like you, they want to trust you, and they want to see the results that you've got. They want to see the results you've been given or you've given others. Yeah. And at the end of the day, that works. So there's a lot of people out there, there's a lot of online coaches out there that might not even be qualified. But if they're getting results and they're likable and they're giving the right information out there, they might have a really successful business. So that's still dangerous. It is still dangerous, of course. I think so there's a fine balance. There's a fine balance. Yeah.
It's, as you say, it's like you can get the credentials and the specialist degree, like a law degree or a business degree, and then be redundant in it without practical hands-on. But there is a fine line around, what you can and can't say to people if you don't quite know, particularly around nutrition, I find. Yeah. I've probably had some bad advice.
My best advice to any young coaches out there is when you are qualified, go to as many webinars, seminars as you can. Right. Learn from the top coaches. Yeah. Learn about nutrition, of course, that's an absolute must. Yeah. And learn by speaking to the right people. You don't necessarily have to be in the classroom listen to a professor.
Yeah, true.
honestly.
Have they got real world experience? Probably not. Okay, and so what do you think to the both of you is driving people then to be more fitness or wellness or nutrition conscious today?
I think it's a lot of different things. I mean, I think there's always a trend going on. We see it all the time. It comes and it goes, and I feel like we're starting to see the trend of being extremely thin coming back, with weight loss drugs. But we still have a very strong trend of, especially women, wanting to be strong, and they're actually putting up way more of a fight against I just want to be skinny. I think people are fed up with just feeling like shit all the time, you know, like, and I think that not exercising, not eating healthy, not getting outside, not being in the sun, like all of those things just make us feel worse and worse and worse. And I think the moment people take that one little step, even if it's just going for a walk every morning, they realize, oh, I feel better after that. And I think people are finally seeing how fitness can empower them, eating healthy can give them more energy, it can make them feel better. And it's really amazing to see.
I'm going to be even more unfiltered here.
Yeah.
I think I think COVID was a really, obviously it was a terrible time, of course, but it was a really important time for people to understand what we actually put in our bodies. Are the pharmaceutical companies, are the food industry actually looking after us? Hang on, what's actually going on here?
Yeah.
And then you had a lot of people having podcasts, or people, I'm interested in this podcast. Let me actually finally listen to this.
Right.
Or the type of content I'm actually going to start watching. And people started going, do you know what? There's something wrong here. I'm actually going to start eating whole foods.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to start getting some vitamin D, going out for walks. I'm actually going to start really taking care of my health and stop listening to these guys to tell me how I should live. And I think that's been a big turn. And now when we see content, obviously your algorithm, right? So if you were the type of person who enjoys health, fitness, your algorithm's going to be push you. So every day you'll get messages of whole foods, resistance training, which is great. Or you could be the opposite person and your algorithm could be, for example, the war in Palestine, Israel. Like, so it depends on where you're tunneling your energy. And if you're tunneling your energy to the right places, you are more likely going to be better off.
Yeah. And to piggyback off of that too, I do think that COVID, you know, people didn't know what was being put into all kinds of medications and everything. But at the same time, because everybody was home and we have social media, there's podcasts, like we just have so much more access to connecting with each other and hearing everybody's sides of things, which can turn into a disaster. But at the same time, I think it's very eye-opening for a lot of people, and they learned a lot. Like, for example, I think that people started learning that they should start listening to their bodies a little bit more and asking questions and not just doing what they're told. Like in 2019, I had SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, where I lost a ton of weight. I was, you know, it was so awful, but all of the doctors that I went to go see, they were just like, you have ulcerative colitis, you got to go on medication for the rest of your life. And I just knew that like, that's not what's going on. Like I knew it was something else. And it wasn't until I found a naturopath that had me do a test and diagnosed me with SIBO that I was able to get cured. And if I would have just listened to those first doctors, I would still be on medication that increases my risk of getting cancer and just basically makes me a slave to the whole industry.
Wow. How are you feeling today?
Amazing. I don't have any any issues with SIBO anymore. Once I did the protocol from my naturopath, it was cured. I've never had any gut issues when it comes to SIBO. But once I got that cured a year later, it wasn't related at all. It was when my intestines twisted, and then I had to go into emergency surgery. So it was a pretty awful couple years.
Yes. Yeah, I can imagine. And amazing resilience to rebuild from that as well. But also that insight to go and look at holistic health and other, like, you know, non-traditional medicines and how those forms can help. I mean, I've got an Indigenous background, Indigenous Australian, and we still have traditional people on country harvesting, you know, bush foods and turning them into medicines.
Yeah, wow.
And they're only just starting to look at that in mainstream health. You know, so harvesting off land to help problems with respiratory problems or, you know, bowel issues, it's all natural. And so sometimes that can help rather than getting caught up, as you say, Alexa, in that kind of prescribed environment and what you're saying around, you know, we were told what to do in COVID. Okay, so then going back into the why for each of you and the human story behind each of your amazing careers and lifestyles. Bradley, for you, why did you get into the industry? Why fitness after professional football?
So for me, it was an easy transition, right? So things didn't work out footballing-wise, and I was like, what's plan B? I said, I could have felt very sorry for myself, but I had friends at the time who actually made it and were making £100,000 a week. So that gave me hunger to go and do something with myself to try and succeed, right?
Yeah.
And I actually Googled, it's quite funny, I Googled who makes more money, a personal trainer or a football coach? Yes, because they were the two.
You would think a football coach, right?
Well, you think, if you're a Premier League manager,
Yes. Yeah.
then of course.
Okay.
But at the time, that's a young coach or personal trainer, and they said if you're working in central London in the Knightsbridge area, you can make it in between £100 to £200 an hour. I said that's where I'm going. So I got myself qualified and I just went down that route, and I worked hard, and obviously I followed like Alexia, so I was motivated by other influencers doing it at the time. I reached out to Alexia and I said, Alexia, and this was me as a youngster, I was hungry, I wanted to learn. So Alexia, do you mind if I come over to Arizona? And you're like, brilliant, come over. So we collaborated. I learned a lot from Alexia. She showed me how her business was running, and I took so much from that. I learned. I was starving. I was hungry to succeed.
Yeah.
And we had a great time in Arizona.
Yeah.
And then
It's amazing just to see how much Bradley has done since then. It's really amazing. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
That's such a nice connection.
and I think,
story.
that's fine. So we've been good friends for a long time. And so for me, it was just hunger to succeed. But of course, I need for you to succeed, you need longevity.
Yes.
So you need to actually build a business.
Yeah.
And at the first, I must have hit burning point about 10 times in my young career. They got to the point where now I need to invest massively in a team. So I've got a big team behind me now, and that definitely allows you to grow.
Yeah.
It's hard to see how much you're spending on people's salaries, but it's very much needed for you to grow the business and for you to grow as a person. And I absolutely love what I do. I love helping people. I get absolute buzz out of it. And that's what I do.
And you're still very young and have a lot ahead of you in terms of growth and investment.
I guess so, yes.
And guided by Alexa also. And Alexia, you found fitness when you were at the University of Arizona, I believe, studying marketing as part of, your process back then at studies. Yeah. What made you shift your career and what have you learnt in the process?
Well, I studied communications at the University of Arizona, but I had a marketing job when I graduated. And when I was at that job, I was just always thinking about fitness. Like I was always thinking about going to the gym. I was thinking about exercises. I was researching exercises. I just wanted to learn everything that I could. And so I just decided I don't love what I'm doing here. When I'm here, all I'm thinking about is what I love. And I thought, I'm just going to be a personal trainer. That's what I want to do. So I dropped everything, got certified, and I had no other plan except I just wanted to train people. I loved fitness so much. I saw what it did for me in my life, not just physically, but also mentally. And I just wanted to share it with people. And so I got a job at Lifetime Fitness, and I started training people just in the gym, and I took everybody that wanted to train. And then let's see how getting into my online stuff. So I was training people at Lifetime. I left Lifetime and I worked at some private gyms, and I started just kind of sharing my workouts on Snapchat at first. Was actually the place that I was sharing them. And so I was sharing them on Snapchat, and then Instagram came along, and it was before Instagram had stories. You could only post a 15-second video and photos. So I would just post the exercise that I loved the most that day, explain how to do it, and then I just started gaining followers just out of nowhere. And I was like, this is crazy. And then they came out with stories. So I just started sharing my full entire workouts, and people were asking me for them. So I just started selling my workouts for $1 a day, and here we are.
I love how authentic the both of you are with your content, and the honesty around your workouts and the practicality and the simplicity. I just love, Alexia. It's really important stuff, because it can be a minute or it can be a full video, and you're learning something. I've actually started doing a lot of your leg workouts. Sorry, Bradley, but
that's not how we're in the program.
But I was saying to Bradley earlier as well, the content that Bradley, you come out with is really rich in kind of lifestyle.
Mhm.
It's, eating well, that it's not just about working hard, playing hard. You've actually got to go connect with family.
No, of course.
And I
100%.
think that's nice.
Yes.
What drives that for you in terms of building that sort of content?
Well, I've been very fortunate. I've had a loving family from the get-go, right? I've got 25 first cousins. We come from an Irish Catholic background. I've got 4 siblings and we're all very close. My mum now got 5 grandchildren. That's going to grow.
Nice.
And that's the family I want. I want a big family. So for me, it's just been very easy for me to showcase that. I'm not pretending. It's just me, who I am as a person.
Yeah.
But of course, I've always also liked to show my lifestyle. A lot of people have said to me, do you try and be realistic? I said, no, I try and be inspiring. I want to inspire people.
Yeah.
I want to showcase this healthy lifestyle. You don't have to be part of the rat race to live healthily, to be successful.
Yeah.
And hopefully I have motivated a lot of people through my content, through my motivational content.
I think you both have, because if you're inspired by someone sharing something with you or building stories and helping you, then you aspire.
Yes.
And so I've certainly seen that in talking to others about your workouts and programs, Alexia, and the same with you, Bradley. So I think the difference is it's authentic, right? For the both of you, it comes from the place that you genuinely want to help. Okay, so then talking more about the fitness trends and the industry and what we were saying a bit earlier, when it comes to trends like weird vibrating plates and waist trainers and wearable tech, I actually don't wear any tech when I train.
Yeah.
What is actually useful for us? And what do you think is just kind of a passing trend?
Well, I've definitely had clients squatting on those plates before back in the day, thinking, what's these plates? Let me give them a go. And then realize these are absolute nonsense. What's this all about? This will always come. There's always going to be people out there trying to make money from the industry, right? Because it's such a money-making industry. As you mentioned, billions. So there's loads of people always bring out products.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it won't be a pair of dumbbells, kettlebells, and consistency.
Yeah.
It won't. Nothing will beat that. And I say to my clients all the time, you can literally have 3 kg, 5 kg, 10 kg dumbbells at home with a mat, some resistant bands, with your nutrition spot on. You will get results with consistency.
Nice.
So
super simple.
All this tech out there isn't ideal. For me, what I like the recovery side of things.
Right. Okay.
So for example, when I bring a client on, I recommend them do a DEXA scan. That allows me to see their bone density, allows me to see their body fat percentage, allows me to see their muscle mass. Yeah. So now I can create a tailored program around their actual results.
Right.
Okay. Rather than giving them, as so many coaches do, just a generic program. Here's 1,500 calories. Here's a training program. Ta-da. No. So I've got those. And then we've gone into recovery. So we're looking at infrared. We're looking at oxygen chambers. We're looking at ice cold therapy.
They're everywhere.
So
saunas.
Yeah. So the recovery side of things in the fitness world is great, but of course there's a lot of gimmicks out there that you got to be careful of.
Yeah. And you can spend a lot of money on rubbish.
Yes.
Yeah.
And honestly, if you just keep it simple, go back to the basics,
yeah,
you will get results, but it's just consistency, and that's where people struggle.
What are your thoughts on that, Alexa?
Yeah, I agree. I think that, there's so many different products you can spend your money on, wearable tech, the vibration plates, all kinds of things. I think that if you find that a wearable tech helps you stay consistent, or you like seeing your sleep score or something like that, then go for it. It's not going to be one of those things that's going to absolutely change the game. Like, you just have to realize that even with the vibration plate, like, those could be good for lymphatic drainage, but like, it's not going to be the make or break of your fitness journey. You have to just stay consistent. Even with different biohacking tools, I have a sauna, I have a red light, I have a grounding mat, and all of those things are amazing, but you can do all of those things for free. Like, you can sweat by working out. You can ground yourself by standing in grass. You can get, the benefits of a red light from going out in the morning or evening sun. So I feel like sometimes we try to make fitness and wellness and health so complicated, when all it's about is just go back to the basics. Yeah.
And the best things in life are free, right?
Exactly.
Go for a walk in the sunlight.
Like, even here in Dubai, right? Everyone's competing because there's so many studios popping up here, there.
Yes.
And Dubai's quite small. So there's a yoga class now.
I didn't realise how small it is.
It's
the
small.
population's what, only
4 million? Yeah, 4 million.
It's the size of Melbourne.
Yeah, so you can drive everywhere in 15, 20 minutes. But for example, I saw a yoga class the other day with red light therapy while you're doing yoga. It's just like, it's just like, but that is their
Probably in there, Bradley.
yeah, that's they'll be in there tomorrow. But for example, some businesses need to find something to stand out,
to just add on,
so
tack on.
more gimmicks are gonna come and people are gonna give it a go. They want to post on Instagram because it's the new thing. It's gonna
yeah, it's so, and as social media and like online marketplaces thrive, people just get caught out buying rubbish.
Of course they do.
It's so easy to go down the rabbit hole.
course,
I've got to get that wearable, so that'll help me sleep, and then I've got to get the next thing. Okay, to the both of you as well, in terms of the, I guess, performance or the intersection of high performance coaching and digital influence. Given that the online fitness space is often a breeding ground for distorted body images and some of the trends or toxic trends we're talking about, how do you navigate that landscape? How do you help your clients or your communities kind of navigate some of those, I guess, what's out there in terms of the body image or the toxic trend?
Yeah, for years I've been told that my body is affecting young men. And I was like, what are you talking about? Yeah, honestly.
Really?
Yeah, well, there's a certain crowd.
Is this the manosphere conversation?
No, there's a certain crowd out there, honestly, that for years have told me that I'm a bad influence for men because I'm always in great shape, because it's unrealistic. It's like, no, it's not unrealistic if you put your mind to it, if you live a certain lifestyle, right? Okay. I can say from the bottom of my heart, I've never touched steroids, never touched anything. It's all clean, natural, so you can do it.
All right.
But for me, it's about educating your followers. So I've got a job. Alexia has a job. We have a responsibility to educate our audience.
Yeah.
It's down to the audience to take it or leave it, basically. They can continue following us or they can unfollow us. When I have an online client come on board, it's a good 30-minute video call, as we did. And I'll explain exactly what my approach is. I'll ask you the questions that needs to ask to make sure I can tailor your program. And I'll say to you, it's not about eating 1,200 calories anymore. It's not about the endless cardio. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And I talk about the cortisol levels. We talk about the gut microbiome. We talk about the cognitive function, not just about weight loss.
Yes.
So again, it's just having that one-to-one can really, really benefit people.
Yeah.
And then I've got the other app called Get It Done. So we try and put as much information out there as possible. I have my own podcast for my subscribers to also listen to. So yeah, it's just down to myself, Alexia, to try and educate our followers as much as we can.
Yeah. Like Bradley was saying, like, we just have to be honest with our followers and, be completely open and be somebody that they can absolutely trust, because no matter what, there's always going to be people that talk. I mean, people online have said, I'm on steroids. And I'm like, I'm on steroids.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
There will always be people who say horrible things. And then there will always be different body images and different, there's just always going to be shit online that people are going to talk about or think that they want or whatever. But you just have to find the people that you can trust, that you listen to them and they put good information out there and it makes sense and you align with that. And that's where you just have to start, connecting the dots and bringing your circle into who you want to expose yourself to. What information do you want to expose yourself to?
Yeah, and being smart about, what is out there versus the reality.
Sure.
But I think, there is that space at the moment about, body image, as you said, Alexa, coming back to women being thin again and men in the manosphere or young men. The latest thing I was watching on 60 Minutes, I think it was, that young men in America and Australia are, looks maxing, literally physically hurting themselves to make themselves more attractive. It's so dangerous. It's so sad that, younger generations are having to feel that way, but influencing even younger people. Really important, as you say, that, you have the integrity with what you're doing and what you're saying and holistically helping people. So Bradley, then for you, we've talked about your football career and I guess that being a part of your life, but also a shift for you. What was the mindset shift that made space for your career now? So in thinking about, Did you always want to be in football? Did you always want to be around fitness?
Yeah, no,
Just the
massively. Football was my
Yeah.
dream. I signed for Chelsea, which is a big
Yeah,
club for those
huge.
in America and Australia. If you don't know Chelsea Football Club, you should know Chelsea Football
Yeah.
Club. But I was playing for Chelsea from the age of 7 all the way up to the age of 16.
Yeah.
Then signed professionally for a club in West London called Queen's Park Rangers. So that was my life.
Right.
From my school window, from my classroom, I could see
Yeah.
Wembley.
Oh, wow.
So every morning I could see
What an
Wembley.
inspiration.
So every
Yeah.
morning I'm like, I'm going to play there one day.
Right.
And I did, but it was in a YouTube game. So it wasn't really the same. It wasn't me. It wasn't like
Not a competitive
No,
game.
exactly. So yeah, so for me and my brother, my older brother, he works at Chelsea now. He was a professional footballer. He was 6 years older
Great.
than me. So he was a massive role model for me. So I was very
Right.
fortunate. I had a role model, which is
Yeah.
very key.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, a lot of kids don't have role models. I think
Yes.
that's really important. As we go back to parents need to be the role model for the kids.
Yeah.
Don't be a couch potato. Train next to that couch
Dead
and
set.
your kids will see that.
Yeah.
And like, things didn't work out. Lucky I had the support around me. I was resilient. And I said to myself, all right, it's time to move on. Don't dwell on it. What can I do? This bad time, how can I bring that energy into something positive? And it was just going for being the best personal trainer I could possibly be. And that's it. That's all you can do. There are going to be obstacles, and I'm sure there's going to be even more obstacles as I continue to try and be successful.
Yeah.
But that's life. You learn
Yeah.
and you continue.
Learn and grow.
You learn and grow.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. And for you, Alexa, you went through your surgery, emergency surgery that has left you with a scar. Can you tell us, if you feel comfortable, about how that happened and what have been maybe long-term effects for you since then?
Yeah. So, long story short, I thought I had food poisoning because I was throwing up, and I'd never had food poisoning before. So I didn't know what that felt like. I was just throwing up after dinner, and I felt bloated. My stomach felt bloated, and it really hurt. And I would try to relax and lay down, and my husband would like make me tea. And if I laid down for a little bit, it would start to feel better. But then it would get worse. And about 2:00 in the morning, it was awful. I felt like I was being stabbed from the inside out. So he took me to the emergency room, and I was passing out on the way there, literally thinking I was going to die. And by the time we got to the emergency room, I couldn't even stand. I was holding on to the counter, drenched in sweat. They were like, "What's your birthday?" And I'm like, "Can you please just do something?" It was awful.
Oh, gosh.
What's your
Standard
birthday?
questions.
Yeah,
Terrible.
it was so
Yeah.
awful.
Mm.
And so they put me on a lot of different pain meds when I was there. So I was kind of like in and out. I know they took me in for different scans, but I couldn't stand up to even get into like an MRI machine or a CT scan. And then
Wow.
I remember waking up and looking down because the surgeon woke me up to tell me that we had to go, that she was going to take me into emergency surgery. And I looked like I was pregnant. Like I couldn't see my legs when I looked down because my stomach was so far out and distended. And then next thing I know, I wake up, I'm in a hospital room, and they told me your intestines twisted. And so we had to do emergency surgery. We took out 17 inches of your intestines.
Wow.
Wow. Gosh.
Yeah, it was.
It's just scary because you look at Alexia and you think the healthiest person in the world.
Absolutely.
Now, I recently had my appendix out and it just came
You
out of nowhere.
did.
And it's like, even though we are really healthy, things can happen.
Yes, that's so true.
Well, that's-
Yeah, you're both human. Yeah.
Too is asking the doctors, why did this happen? They said it can happen to anyone at any time. There's nothing where that's
Right.
protecting their intestines. They can just kind of start getting tense and start twisting. And then once they start twisting, it just starts getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And when I had first posted about it, when it happened, I cannot tell you how many messages I got from people that would say, "Oh, my grandma had that," or "My 7-year-old boy had that," or "My sister." Like
Wow.
all
So it's more
ages.
common than you think, yeah.
Yeah, it can happen.
And Alexia, did you get any trolling? Did you get people going, "Oh my God, you work out too much," or it's because you eat too clean? Like, was any trolling?
I'm sure that I did. I don't it wasn't like a ton of people. I think I did get a few messages of people saying, "Oh, this happens to a lot of fitness people."
Okay.
Right.
But it wasn't any, like, it wasn't like that was all of my comments. It was like maybe a couple, but mostly people were connecting because they knew somebody it happened to, or it happened to them. Even when I post about it now, people will say, "Oh, this just happened to me. I'm still in the hospital."
because people who aren't fit love seeing people who are fit get ill.
Yes.
They absolutely love it.
So
And they
it's
start
the
saying,
takedown
see,
culture.
they say all those runs, all that bench press, all that broccoli does nothing, does it?
Yeah, it's
So-
extreme.
But I will
Oh, but
say that even
yeah.
with that, like just to piggyback off of what Bradley was saying is, yeah, anything can happen to anyone at any time. It doesn't matter how fit
Yeah.
or healthy you are. You could get in a car accident. But taking care of my health and being fit before that happened paid off so much for my recovery.
I can
All of the
imagine.
doctors were
Yeah.
shocked. When I was in the hospital, they were telling me, you're probably going to be here for 10 days. I was out in 4 days. Like,
Wow.
not
It
only
goes to show the benefits of being healthy and fit. Your recovery is a lot quicker.
Your recovery is a lot quicker. Your foundational health was good.
the mindset with it too, because the thing is if you don't know what it's like to push yourself in the gym and you don't know what it's like to try to push out one rep, you don't know your body. If something hurts, it scares you. You don't know what it is. You don't want to do it. But being able to know my body and know what it feels like, I know I can walk a little bit further tomorrow, or I know I can do one more lap around the hospital today. So
Yeah.
fitness is not just about how ripped you can get or how strong you can get. It's also just about learning your body.
That's so true. And that, tapping into into the feelings about, what you can't, like pain, how much pain you can hold on to, the resilience around your mentality with pain.
And I'm going to go, my partner, we trained during her pregnancy, before her pregnancy, got in the best shape of her life.
Right.
And during labor, the doctor couldn't believe the endurance she had.
There you go.
So she was able to pop Cooper out in record time because just the endurance. She didn't need rest. She went, she had a contraction, she pushed, she had a contraction, she pushed. They said, do you need to rest? She was like, we talked about it, let's go, let's carry on.
Oh my gosh, her mindset.
Yeah, and they said to her after, that was amazing, your endurance. And I said, Hannah, it goes to show, like, when you train and you really look after your body.
Yes.
Before pregnancy, during pregnancy, the outcome is amazing. And now she's already training. So the postnatal stuff is incredible too.
Wow.
So looking after your body, things can happen, but the recovery is a lot quicker.
I like that. I think what you're both talking to there is that preventative health rather than, getting to the end where you're off the cliff and having to react, and, you've got to deal with the problem then. You've actually built the preventative measures. I know you were posting a lot of content around Hannah, growing up and quite pregnant and, supporting her in her nutrition and lifestyle. And Alexia, for you around kind of rebuilding and how you look after yourself in doing that as well. It kind of gives people that sense of it is consistency. It is about, it's not just reacting when you're feeling sick. Yeah.
And it's crazy the amount of female clients I get who say, I want to lose weight during my pregnancy. I'm like, no, do not try and lose weight during your pregnancy. Yeah.
Why do they think
Because they're still concerned about the way they look, as you mentioned. It's still that image, right?
Yeah.
So no, your baby's health comes first. So fuel that baby as much as you can.
Yeah.
Get as much choline from eggs in your diet as you can to make sure that baby's got high IQ when it gets delivered. And just look after your body. Don't worry about your weight. We can sort that out after, but keep your body moving. Keep doing resistance training. Keep yourself confident that way.
Right.
So
flip the switch around the mentality of weight. This weight is needed right now.
Yeah, of course.
Rather than it's a bad thing. When we were talking before about online audiences and the experience you went through, Alexia, you both have large online communities, and I'm interested in how you manage them and connect with them, but also because social media can be quite polarizing and it can be negative. So how do you manage your communities and/or any negativity online you might be receiving?
To be honest, when I was younger, I used to read the negative comments. I used to read the trolls. They used to affect me big time.
Right.
Now I go, do you know what? That person's got, they're making a bit of sense there. And I speak to my team, said this person made a really good point. So I actually take it as criticism. Like, obviously, the trolling, they can call me names, they can call me this, and call me that, whatever they want to call it. But sometimes I'm like, do you know what? I'm going to take a positive out of that. Guys, they maybe have a point and we need to look into this.
Nice.
So I always turn it into a positive.
Yeah.
There's a website called Tatton. I'm not sure you heard about it. Right?
No, I haven't.
There's about 100 pages. They just talk about me every single day.
What is it called? Sorry?
It's called Tattle.
Tattle.
It is shocking.
Oh my God.
One of my followers told me about it.
Yeah.
And there's a page about Bradley Simmonds and Tattle, and they just go in on me. They think I'm the most arrogant. It's It is so
Oh.
funny. So you
They're
always,
spending a lot of time and energy on this.
of course,
So, yeah.
but my granddad always said to me, if they're not talking about you, you're not doing anything right. You're not
Yeah.
doing something right.
Yeah.
So
You're provoking something. here.
success is
Yeah.
always going to bring trolling. It's always going to bring jealousy. It's always going to bring negativity. You have to be resilient. You have to be tough to be able to deal with it.
Yeah.
To listen to the noise, have the right people around you, the environment,
Yeah.
surroundings, and keep moving forward.
Yeah, good on you.
Yeah, I think 100% what Bradley said. You just have to keep moving on. You know, everybody,
Yeah.
there's gonna be people that say negative things all the time. With my community, I am honestly so proud of the community of women that do my program, the Queen Team, and we have a Facebook group, but even just like tons of my followers do my program, and I'm messaging them back and forth on Instagram all the time. But I have never seen them be negative towards each other. And I think what
Okay.
yeah, it's been amazing.
Wow. Supportive dynamic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super supportive. And the way that I built the community and the program is that we are always doing everything together. So we're always doing the same workout together. And it just builds this bond of we're in it together, no matter what the workout is going to be of the day. You know, we can all get on, talk to each other. What was your favorite exercise? Was Alexia crazy for giving us that workout? Like, what was she thinking? To do that many lunges?
Yeah.
But it's a super supportive community. And it's amazing to see how many people connect and build friendships when they live across the world from each other.
Yes.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's
I mean,
lovely, isn't
but
it?
with negative comments and, you know, negative people online, they're always going to be there. There's always going to be trolls. And yeah, I just kind of, you know, I think
Alex, how did you deal with it like all those years ago when we first met to now?
Yeah, great question.
I never really I would read them and I don't remember ever really. The one time it really did affect me was when I did have SIBO in 2019.
Yeah.
Because I had so many people telling me I was anorexic, I had an eating disorder. When I was going through all of that, I didn't have like the energy to
Sure.
to fight
my
back.
story of what's going on. And I honestly was like depressed going through all of that. So that really hurt. And because there were so many people that were being so mean. But then once I got through that, gained my weight back, and then, you know, I just realized that like it doesn't, you know, when it comes to negative comments, whether you think something negative about somebody else online, you have no idea what they're going through. They could be going through something that they're not comfortable sharing online.
Yeah.
You just have to be true to yourself and go on with your day. And, you know.
But I think the key word that Alexia said is community. Like we live in a world now with AI, right? So you're going to get AI.
What's real, what's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to get AI fitness programs, fitness apps, you name it, right? But something that AI can never do is build a community. And Alexia's done that incredibly. We've done that incredibly with Get It Done as well.
Yeah.
And it's hard. It's tough to grow your community and to sustain it and to create events and show up and make sure you're the person with the highest energy.
Yes.
It is tough. Of course it is.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's so rewarding and it's so fun and it's so enjoyable.
And that's the thing, is that human connection.
Yeah.
So no computer or robot is going to ever be able to make a decision based on what another human is thinking or feeling.
Yeah.
And you both tap into that really well, obviously, with your communities and your authenticity. At the end of the day, what does a good client relationship look like for the both of you? What is success for each of you when it comes to helping someone else on this journey?
For me, it's when the client says, I've really improved my confidence.
Ah, nice.
So, and they've improved their confidence because they're fueling their body correctly. So they're getting enough sleep and they're having the right energy levels. They've improved their confidence because they can look in the mirror and they're really happy with their physique.
Yeah.
Right. So for me, it's like, Bradley, thank you so much. You've improved my confidence. That's really key. Because don't get me wrong, I could help someone get in unbelievable shape, but how that actually help them mentally. Yeah. And at the end of the day, without mental health, who are we as a person? And it does come from physical health, of course. But so for me, my goal is with every client, how can I improve your confidence? How can I save you from burnout? How can I save you from hating yourself or not having that self-esteem?
Yeah.
Because without strong confidence or strong self-esteem, you simply won't reach your full potential.
Wow. Yeah. And those values.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Having those values of doing it for yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Alexia,
I would
what about you?
extremely similar. So I'll tell you a story to go along with this. So when I started and I became a personal trainer, I nerded out on fitness, on form, on learning different exercises and programming. But what hooked me on, I know this is what I'm going to do the rest of my life, is be a personal trainer and help people, was one of the first clients that I had trained her maybe twice, and she came in one morning. She was like a 5 a.m. client, and it looked like something was really bothering her. Like, she looked teary-eyed. So I asked her what was wrong, and she said her husband left her the night before. And I was just shocked that she showed up.
That's tough.
And so I was like, do you want to talk about it? Like, we don't have to work out. Are you okay? And we talked. Two sessions later, I could tell that her confidence was different. She came in and she just like looked a little bit happier. And it was having that workout session for her to go to feel accomplished after putting in the work is what her going. And I think that is so important. That is so missed with fitness, is we want so much for an aesthetic and we want to lose weight or we want muscle tone, that we completely forget the confidence that fitness builds and how powerful you can feel working out with just a 10-minute workout. It doesn't even have to be anything crazy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so true. What an incredible story, and a common story, you know, in terms of kind of how life can get you down.
Yeah.
And just where to start. And you're both, you know, pseudo counselors in that way, or coaches and mentors.
I've got no counsellor degree, but I feel like I'm a counsellor.
That's my hairdresser.
The amount of divorcees I've had, or it's incredible.
Yeah, it's incredible. Thank you for sharing that, because I think, you know, it is the reality of life. And so, you know, you wear those hats and you play those roles. Okay, going then back, and then we'll go forward in the last little segment here. So we call this the Inspiring Three. If you could go back to the both of you and give advice to your 20-year-old self who just lost their spot on the dream football team or wasn't feeling driven in the university course or at work, what would you say to yourselves?
Oh, Alexa, I'll let you go first.
What do you think?
Let me think about this. Right.
It's going to be okay. Someone said that to me the other day, and I was like, that's the best advice you can just give yourself sometimes. It's going to be okay.
No, of course.
What do you think, Alexa?
I would probably just say trust yourself, you know, because when I quit my marketing job, you know, I knew I loved fitness, but it wasn't anything that, you know, my family did or, you know, went into our own gyms or anything. So I was like the first one to kind of go out and do it. And, you know, you just wonder when you're in your 20s, like, am I doing the right thing? And I think it's just important to trust yourself. Like, you know what you love, you know what's right for you, and you just have to trust and follow your passion.
For me, when I was 20, I visualized and I took action. But now I visualize, I plan, and then take action.
Okay. You put the planning step in.
I put the planning step in now, because when I was younger, I was inexperienced. I just went through it, and there was a lot of obstacles, there's a lot of bumps on the road, and I learned the hard way. Now I'm 32. I probably haven't got time to make as many mistakes as I did when I was 20.
Yeah.
I understand. I still can make mistakes, don't be wrong, but probably not as many mistakes as I did when I was 20. So now it's about visualizing where I want to be.
Yeah.
For me, I've always said to myself, I'm never going to have a gym because everything's online.
Yeah.
And now AI is to come in, I'm like, Joe, what? I actually want my own gym, because it's where are my clients going to do their program?
Yes.
Where's the sense of community? Can I build something? So
nice.
It's almost been like a circle for me. So now I need to visualize what that's going to look like. I need to plan it with the right investors, the right team around me to make sure it's a success. And then when I have that in place, it's time to take action and make sure it delivers. So for me, that's really key. So visualize, plan, take action. Don't just visualize and take action.
So are you saying then you're a little bit more risk averse, or you're just a bit more methodical in your process to get it right?
I'm just so optimistic with everything. I just have the belief that it's going to be a success.
Okay.
And then
so you need to tap into realism.
There's been a few times where I've gone, oh, I didn't think about that, or I didn't think about that, or could have done it better, could have improved here. But now I don't want to waste money. There's been a few times where I've wasted a lot of money.
Yeah.
Now it's about visualizing.
Yeah.
What do I want to achieve?
Yeah.
Having the right support around me, picking the right brains, people that have done it, and then taking action. Again, with the right team with me to take action with.
Nice. And as Alexia says, trust yourself, back yourself. I love that. Okay, so then to the present for the both of you, what is something you are integrating right now into your fitness routine or life that's improving it even by 1%? So just a little thing that is for yourselves.
Well, I've got a 9-week little baby.
You do?
Yeah,
Congratulations, little Krystal.
And it is a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. Don't get me wrong, it's amazing though. I absolutely love it. So for me, it's 30-minute workouts. It's walking my dog twice a day, getting my steps up that way. It's staying really clean with my nutrition to fuel me and fuel my partner. And those 30-minute workouts keep me lean, keep me strong. It doesn't have to be an hour and a half in the gym like it used to be. And it's consistency with minimal equipment. It does the job. It really does the job. Am I the fittest I've ever been? No. Is it a problem? No. Am I going to win at High Rocks anytime soon? No. Is it a problem? It was when I was younger because I needed to win everything.
Right.
Now it's taken back a no. The most important thing is I'm healthy.
Yes.
My partner's healthy and the little man is healthy.
Yeah.
And there will be a time again when I can start competing and that's fine.
Great. So priorities change, right?
Priorities
so give yourself some space to allow for other things. That's great. Alexia?
Yeah, I'm always experimenting with different things, but right now what I'm kind of experimenting now is just, kind of taking away all of the noise in what gyms bring and just what can I do with just body weight? What can I do with one dumbbell? How can I make this more challenging without adding more weight? Because I think a lot of times people think, I don't have the weights at home to get stronger or to build muscle, but you don't need it. You just have to learn how to use your body in the right way to make things more challenging.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you've said before, understanding your body and knowing, the process with it. Okay, so looking forward to the future. In 5 years' time, what for each of you, it's like a job interview, what does success look like for you both beyond the business metrics?
For me, there's gonna be at least 3 kids.
Great. Okay. Building that football team.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to be in a physical good place, emotionally good place, and financially good place.
Okay.
So that's the 5-year goal. Do I need to be a multi-millionaire?
Do you?
I will try to be, but again, as long as my family are comfortable, we're succeeding, everyone's healthy. That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited about the future. It's going to be challenging, of course.
Yes. Yeah.
Time is changing. You don't know what's around the corner. However, I'm really excited about the future.
Yeah, that's super positive. I love that. Alexia, how about for yourself?
Yeah, definitely just building out, my community more, making my app and website better, starting a family, and, just trying to reach as many people as possible through fitness. That's always been my goal.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And so then as part of kind of, what you have both been building and, looking to the future as well, we're just sort of saying, what sometimes it is unpredictable, it is volatile in the world. What do you both think fitness or health will look like in the future with the rapid pace of technology and lifestyle changes? Where do you think it's going?
I hope it's not just a machine people get in that just...
Yeah, that would be very scary.
Yes. I hope people still just focus on the basics and understand the foundations. I less on these new weight loss jabs or these new peptides, for example. All this
peptides are everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
They're illegal in Australia, actually.
Yeah, so
you cannot use them or sell them.
Yeah. We're here in Dubai, peptides are everywhere. Everyone's using peptides without actually the education and the bad effects of you. Do you know what I mean? So hopefully people just stick to the foundations. People realize that it's the foundations that work. So hopefully
keep it simple, back to those foundations.
Yeah, I think that, in America, peptides are everywhere as well. And I think it's going to be really interesting to see what kind of side effects come from those in the next, 5 or 10 years. But I really hope that people just start realizing that it's all about going back to the basics with nutrition, with exercise, with just being out in nature and, connecting with people, not just being online all the time.
Yes, that is so important, getting back to nature and human nature, right?
Yes.
I think we're seeing kids in schools who are suffering with their literacy and numeracy because they're on devices learning.
Yeah.
They're not talking and reading and writing. So technology can be good and then it can be bad, I think.
Of course. Even my son yesterday, he was crying, looking at me. So I just turned him around just to change him around. And he looked at the screen, he stopped crying. Wow, he's 9 weeks old.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
The colour and movement, maybe.
And my partner, Hannah, was just like, no screen time. And so I turned back at me. So I just had a crying baby looking at me.
Just facing each other to deal with it.
Yeah.
Incredible. And I think whatever happens in the future, it's about that resilience and good foundations that you both said that you're building and needing to help build in others. Bradley and Alexia, I want to thank you both for your times today, your insights, your honesty, and importantly for the work that you do in helping others. It's a privilege to meet you both, and I really hope that I can continue to follow you on your journeys. I have invited you to Australia, so I think that will hopefully be the next fitness and wellness activation, and we'd love to have you in our country. Doing everything that you do. We've not only unpacked health and fitness today, but discussed the unfiltered reality of starting over, whether that's on the gym floor or in a hospital bed. You've both shown us that health isn't a destination, it's a blueprint of discipline, community, and mental grit. Thank you again for your transparency, your honesty, and your insights. I'm Krystal Perkins, and this has been Unfiltered.
Top notch.
Thanks, team. Thanks for listening to this episode of Unfiltered. Click follow to get notified about future episodes streaming on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Leaving a review helps others find the podcast. And if you'd like to connect, follow me at Krystal Perkins _1.